Welcome back, guys. We are going to finally be talking about Ahsoka episode 6. Now, again, for anyone that's not seen the episode, I do highly recommend click off the video because we're going to be getting in spoiler territory. But man, we got a lot to talk about in this episode because not only did we get to see some familiar character faces, but at the same time, we have a lot of discussing, a lot of possible predictions. What do you think is going to happen in the next episode? So let's go ahead and talk about this. So, the start of the episode, we see Yu Yang and Ahsoka in the whales that are traveling through hyperspace, and they start talking about everything. And she's worried about Sabine, and Ahsoka's thinking, I guess, that she's using her emotions to obviously. I think honestly, what she's afraid of is she's gonna somehow turn like Anakin did. Is why I think her biggest fear is to lose another friend and someone she cares for to the darkness that, how she lost Anakin. I think that's what she's mainly afraid of. And Yu Yang's trying to talk to her about that, but then she's telling him to tell her a story, and he starts off with the classic "in a galaxy far, far away," and so we begin the episode. Now, Baylan does try to talk to Sabine. Now, she keeps saying, we had a deal, and they're going through hyperspace. And then they finally reach a planet that is actually the planet home of the ancestors of the witches of Dathomir. And they start getting a signal. They go down there. And then they meet the ancestors, the Great Mothers, as they call them. And these witches are incredibly powerful. You can already see how that they're very powerful. Like, it almost reminds me of the old Greek mythology for the three, the one that could the one that could I'm trying to remember the three seers, I guess you would say, in Greek mythology. Now, they sent Sabine, obviously being maybe a possible Jedi. They're saying no, she's going to be in containment, and then they don't say anything, which is weird because they don't say nothing about Baylan or Shin, because again, Baylan was a former Jedi, and so Shin, she does act like a Jedi, but more of like a Sith Jedi in a way. So again, it's kind of weird. And then we see Morgan saying, okay, where's Grand Admiral Thrawn? They say, be patient, he is coming. And then when Sabine is rethinking, okay, what did I do? And she tries to possibly escape with the Force, it does not work. Everything starts shaking. And what do we see? We see an Imperial starship, and we see the entrance of Grand Admiral Thrawn. He has the Night Troopers with him. They're in their normal stats, about ready to march, and you see Grand Admiral Thrawn make his appearance. He meets Baylan for the first time. He knows exactly who he is from the Jedi Order. He's heard of him, and then also we see where Morgan is still wanting to bring Admiral Thrawn back to their galaxy. She says it's going to take a few days, and then he says that's very pleasable, and then he finds out about Sabine, and he wants to see her. Now, what we find out is he makes a deal with her basically to let her free because he's holding up Baylan's bargain, and he even tells her, we're going to give you supplies, we're going to give you weapons, your weapons back, and a ride as well. So she even says, okay, well, where's Ezra? And he basically tells her that he doesn't really know that he could possibly be dead, and she says, well, if you're alive, then I suggest he's doing just fine. So it kind of does look like it pissed him off a little bit, and I will give credit to where credit's due. We got the exact same actor that is playing Thrawn in the show, same one we had for the actor in Rebels. So again, did it feel like Thrawn? To me, it kind of did. There was a lot of similarities of him just being very charismatic, very calm, very collective, very strategic in his way. Always had his hands behind his back and walking a certain way. So again, this felt like Thrawn to me, and I will say this on a side note: the way this I almost said movie, this episode was shot felt like a movie. It felt like a movie, guys. This is what Star Wars fans have been wanting. This is what we've been wanting, and I'm going to get into that a little later on. But we see where Sabine does leave on a howler, and it's almost like a mix, I would say, between like a wolf to a horse. And when she goes further out in the wasteland, she gets warned about, the dangers there, and then she gets attacked by bandits, which is almost like, reminds me of a mix between Tusken Raiders and like samurai style type of stormtroopers in a way. So they attack her, and it was a decent fight. We got to see Sabine fight. She even pulls out the lightsaber, able to defeat them all. But they blast her scanner, so she has to walk wherever she can. The Howler follows her. She later says, okay, you know, if you abandon me again, then, you know, that's going to be it for you. Then we see where she comes across something that the Howler sniffs, and he's able to sniff out and even lick, which is this alien-like, I'm just going to say a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in a way, because it's a little alien, and it's able to, and lives inside of an actual rock, and it can hide itself in the rock, and it almost reminds me of, like I said, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle in a way, and it's kind of cool. And she keeps trying to talk to them and calm them down that, hey, this Howler's not going to hurt you. Then at the same time, she finally says, do you know Ezra Bridger? Because she sees different clothing on them, and also they like their symbol, the rebel symbol, so they recognize it because of, well, Ezra. And she says, do you know Ezra Bridger? I'm a friend of his. And then we see that they do lead her to a village, and at the same time we also see where Baylan and Shin are following her, because when we got to see Sabine leave, Thrawn basically told Shin as well as Baylan that you go after her, and as soon as you find Ezra and both of them, kill him. And Shin looks at Baylan and says, I thought you were going to honor her deal. And she doesn't say anything. He leaves. And they do have a talk right before they see more bandits, because they're able to follow Ahsoka and they're able to see where she had the fight. And she even asks him, do you miss anything about the Order? He says, I miss the idea that it was once something great, and how he calls Ezra a Boken Jedi, where he was trained out in the wild by a Jedi. She says, like me. He says, no, I trained you to be something more. So that's going to be kind of interesting to see what other former Jedi call other Jedi that are now Jedi that were trained after Order 66. Same thing with Baylan thinking about that this is a new start, because he wants to end the cycle of the rise of the Jedi, the fall of the Jedi, the rise of the Empire, the fall of the Empire, so on and so forth. He wants to end a cycle to where I'm assuming he may want peace, to where there's nothing involved, or this alliance with Thrawn is going to get him somewhere. But Thrawn also does not care about Baylan or Shin, because he even tells Morgan, after they're collecting a lot of supplies, that he wants to have 2 squads sent with them or after them, just in case they don't finish the job. And she says, don't you think there needs to be more? He says, no, because of being in exile for so long, they only have a limited amount of soldiers left. And she even states, well, and he even tells her that it doesn't matter whether Ezra or even Sabine survives, as long as they're both, you know, they're stranded or killed. Same thing with Shin and Baylan. So he doesn't care. Then we see where not Ahsoka, but we see Sabine finally get to this village. She sees all of it, and we see the reunion of Ezra and Sabine. Ezra has now grown a full beard. He says, I knew you wouldn't let me down. They have a reunion. He's even trying to ask her, like, okay, what took you so long? How'd you get here? You know, how'd you get here? And she doesn't tell him anything yet. And then she basically tells her at the very end, you know, I'm glad to see you. You know, I can't wait to get back home. And that's pretty much how it ends with their reunion. But we also get to see how Thrawn goes to the Great Mothers as they inform him that a Jedi is coming, and he finds out, yes, it is Ahsoka. And he even says, if you see a Purgle Whale, kill it. And he's going to use the power of not only the Empire that he still has at his will, but also the powers of the Great Mothers as well. So, I'm going to say this. This should have been the damn movie we should have gotten, other than that sequel crap. I'm just going to say that now. Everybody's been saying it. I'm gonna say it as well. If they would have gone with Heir to the Empire, which Thrawn is, they would have taken this from the damn books, and Disney would get this woke crap out of their ass, then maybe we could get something actually good than what exactly they gave us in the sequels. And again, I'm not blaming some of the actors. I'm blaming the writers. I'm blaming, J.J. Abrams, the same thing with Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy, but I'm not going to go into that. They screwed it up. They know they screwed it up. They're not going to admit it, but come on. But again, Dave Filoni knows what he's doing right now. He's doing good by the Star Wars fans, by Clone Wars, by Rebels, by now Ahsoka. I would say now Ahsoka even tops Mando now because of everything that has been shown now in Ahsoka, and they've done so well. I've been enjoying Ahsoka. I was so scared that I was going to hate Ahsoka or was not going to be as good as I thought. But I'm actually enjoying this damn show. I cannot wait for the next episode. We're going to be in episode 7, guys. We only got 2 more. I'm wondering what's going to happen. To see Ahsoka, Sabine, and Ezra fight against, Thrawn and the Night Troopers, and then Morgan, Baylan, and Shin. They got their, the numbers are not in their favor, but again, we've seen crazier things happen. But this felt like a movie. It did feel like a movie. It made me feel like I watched this in my house, guys, and I'm sitting there in front of my TV, and I'm feeling like I'm in a theater. And that's what I want. That's what I want when I watch Star Wars. It's like I want to feel like I'm getting that theater experience by not the sound like of it, but nothing that I have, but by what they're showing us. And that's what Dave Filoni did in this episode. And I'm very happy I got that. And I enjoyed the hell out of this episode once again. But I cannot wait to see how we're going to see if Baylan and Shin are actually going to help Ezra and Sabine, or are they going to try to kill him? Or is Baylan going to make another alliance with somebody else? Or is he going to keep faithful to his alliance with Morgan? What exactly do you think is going to happen? But this episode was absolutely phenomenal. What is your guys' thoughts on this? Please let me know down in the comments down below. If you guys are new to the channel, always think about subscribing. But again, do you guys agree with me? I know we've had our issues with Obi-Wan. We've had our issues with Book of Boba Fett. We've had our issues even Mando. But Ahsoka, I think, is going somewhere in the right direction that is helping keep Star Wars not only afloat, but alive inside fans' hearts that love Star Wars. And this still feels like Star Wars. Between the music, the theme, the fights, the costumes, the space travel, the tone, everything, it feels like Star Wars. So let me know what you guys think again, and I'll see you as always on the next one.